Melissa. It's good to see you again. I remember in our last session, you had mentioned you were going through a breakup. Where would you like to start today?
Yeah, so it's honestly been a rough few weeks. I've just been feeling really empty. Like, I feel like I lost a part of myself. My ex and I were really close. We were going on 5 years this month, actually, and now it's just over.
Thank you for sharing that with me. It sounds like the past few weeks have been pretty difficult for you, and I know that going through a breakup is very difficult too. So I can understand why you feel upset. 5 years is a long time.
Yeah, I just keep thinking I wasn't good enough, and because I'm not good enough, that's probably why the relationship ended.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that when you say not good enough?
So it's like I keep replaying everything I did wrong in the relationship. I think maybe if I was more interesting or more caring towards him, things would have fallen apart. I just feel worthless now.
So it sounds like this sense of worthlessness has been very loud lately. How has that been affecting your daily life?
So I've been avoiding my friends. I don't like to go out like I used to do. I can't even focus at work. Even my supervisor and coworkers have all noticed a change in my behavior. They've been asking if I'm doing all right. When I go home, I just watch TV because things like cooking or cleaning kind of just feel pointless. I've just been feeling really stuck.
So it seems like this breakup has affected you deeply, but it also seems like this feeling goes beyond the breakup. It's also shaping how you see yourself and how you go about your day. Has this feeling ever shown up in other parts of your life before, or is this something new?
I think it's been there before, honestly. The breakup just made it louder. It's like every time something ends, that voice tells me it's because I'm not worth loving.
Okay, so going off that note, you mentioned the voice. I actually want to try something that might help us when talking about this and the breakup. So maybe instead of saying I feel worthless, what if we think about this feeling as something outside of you? Something maybe that visits you or takes control at sometimes?
Okay, that sounds kind of strange, but I'll try it out.
Okay, so if you were to give this feeling a voice or a name, something that describes the way it talks to you or how it makes you feel, what would you call it?
Maybe the void. It just feels like this dark emptiness that pulls me in.
Okay, that's powerful, that name. And when the void shows up, what does it usually say to you?
It tells me that I'm unlovable and that I'll always end up alone. It makes me remember every mistake I've ever made.
So the void tells you painful messages that make you doubt yourself, your value, and your future. How does the void influence your actions when it's around?
It makes me isolate myself. I cancel plans, I stay in bed. It convinces me that people don't really want me around and I'm just better off alone.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the void has complete control over your life, and 1 means it barely has any power at all, what would you say it's been lately?
Maybe a 9. It feels almost constant right now.
Okay, a 9 is pretty high. That's pretty intense. And with this being a constant feeling, I could see why the void has such an influence on you. What are some areas of your life where you feel that the void has most influence right now?
Probably mostly my sense of identity. I feel like I don't know who I am without my ex. He was such a big part of my life.
So then it seems like the void tells you that your worth depends on your relationship, and without that connection, you're incomplete. Does that sound right?
Yeah, exactly.
And what would happen to the void if you started to see your worth separate from your relationship?
It probably wouldn't have as much power, maybe no power at all. Maybe it needs me to believe that I'm nothing on my own.
That's a great way to put it. And it seems like the void keeps its power by convincing you that you're defined by what you've lost and instead of by who you are.
Yeah, I've honestly never really seen it that way before, but this is starting to make sense. I can see how the void shows up in my life, even in the past.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So we're actually going to transition to something called unique outcomes. So we'll start by identifying parts of your life where the void didn't have as much control. And can you maybe remember a time even a small moment since the breakup, or even before when the void wasn't in control?
Well, it's honestly been so strong lately. I can't really remember or think of a recent time when it wasn't so constant.
Okay, so maybe we can reframe this a little bit. So you mentioned the void being a 9 right now in the way it seems to control your life. Can you think of a time when the void's control was maybe at a 7 or even a 6?
Well, actually, last week I went on a walk with my dog and my best friend. During that walk, I laughed a little and I felt kind of normal in that moment.
That's wonderful. In that moment, what do you think made the void's voice get quiet?
I think being with my best friend and feeling connected helped. My best friend reminded me that I'm still me, even without my ex.
So that connection and being seen by someone who cares helped quiet the void. What could this say about you and what you value most beyond your relationship?
It says that I value being understood, being seen, and being heard, feeling like I belong. I think I'm starting to realize I've always looked for that in relationships, but it doesn't even just have to be romantic relationships. I can find belonging in friendships and maybe even myself one day.
That's a very strong realization. Understanding that belonging isn't tied to one person, but it can be found in multiple things, and even yourself. How could you use this sense of belonging to fight against the void? Maybe some things that you could do to secure this sense of belonging?
Maybe I could reach out to my best friend more. I don't think I'm ready to hang out with large groups of people yet. Maybe we can do things together like scrapbooking or going to the grocery store. Things that I did with my ex, I could give them new meaning. I could do things that keep me grounded and also help me feel that sense of belonging.
Those seem like great steps, and I also like how you're starting off slow. You understand you're not ready for large groups, but you're starting with your best friend, and that helps with that reconnection. And I also think that this reconnection helps you find parts of your life that reflect your worth and identity beyond your breakup.
Yeah, I honestly think I really needed this. I want to start building my life again, piece by piece.
And you're already doing that too, by recognizing that the void's voice is not you. It can help you understand that the void is something that only visits temporarily, and it can be quieted too. This is a big shift. How do you feel talking about it that way?
It feels good. I feel lighter, like I'm not weighed down by the feelings of the void. I feel like I have more control over my life and my sense of belonging than I thought.
That's great to hear. And as we continue our sessions too, we'll keep exploring moments when you feel like yourself and learn how to build on them, giving the void less space to grow. So thank you so much for sharing today.
Thank you.